what's up? How are you? I hope you're doing good. I hope you're having a good evening, morning, afternoon, night, whenever you stumble across this video and watch it. I always wanted to do this thing. I read a few mystery books here and there, and I remember reading then there were none, and actually falling in love with it and wanting to read more. So I got a bunch of Agatha Christie books. Like, I found a bunch for like a sale thingy, and I was just like, okay, this is my sign. I'm actually going to do this. So what I wanted to do was read an Agatha Christie book and try to solve the case or the mystery of the book while reading it. So if you've never read an Agatha Christie, they're fun and they're awesome. And I picked up Lord Edward Dies, which I actually have no idea what it's about. We have a lord and he's gonna die and we're trying to figure out who killed him. Okay, so I didn't sleep that well. I couldn't stop thinking about this goddamn book, and I've made more progress and I have things that I want to talk about and I need to write it all down. I don't have a whiteboard, but I have this. Okay. I think this is just gonna have to do. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to take every fact and every clue I got so far in the book and put them all here. Shit. Lord Edge. The first suspect that I was suspecting was his wife, because she straight up went ahead and said, I'm gonna kill him and I want him dead and shit. But someone can take advantage of that, you know? I had 3 suspects and then I wrote further and now I have more. First of all, I had Carlotta Adams, Jane Wilkinson, the wife, and Brian Martin. Okay. The motive is that Jane wants him dead because she wants to marry someone else, basically. Carlotta is an impersonator and she impersonates Jane. She's an actress and Jane is an actress and she impersonates her. And maybe she is jealous of her, you know, that shit can happen. And the motive for me is maybe love, maybe he's in love with Jane because he's been showing signs that he's like jealous of shit and then annoyed all the time. And that was the motive. Like, that he would kill Lord Edge so he would get Jane to himself, because Jane already wanted to marry. However, Jane has been saying a lot of shit, has been talking a lot of shit, saying like she wants him gone and she's gonna do it herself if no one else is gonna do it, and if it doesn't happen because she wants a divorce. And this may be like ingenious or just a fucking coincidence. And how many fucking coincidences are we gonna have, right? Because this may be like a genius plan to do all of this, and then when she's asked, and she's like obviously the first suspect because she's first of all the wife and she's the one with the biggest motive, as we know of so far. She talked about Lord Edge and said he's different, he's not like other people, he's queer. He's queer and he's weird and stuff, and someone like that, she either hates him or he's good at making a lot of enemies. The way he was killed as well is peculiar because he was killed in a way that doesn't scream like a passion kill or a passion murder or like spur of the moment thing or like an impromptu thing or something that come out of anger. He was killed, he was stabbed in the back of neck. The time of death also plays a role. Now the butler says that they saw Jane. He says that she wasn't there. So, which put me again in Carlotta, so it's now between these two bitches right here, and it makes me suspect her a lot because she's an impersonator of Jane. And it makes me think, what if it was like some sort of play for her? What if she's actually in love with him and she wants her, not in love with him, but like obsessed with her to the point where she wants her life, all of her life, including her husband. And I don't know, people will be crazy. Maybe she is obsessed and she ended up killing him. The time of death, I'm really suspecting Carlotta. I'm really suspecting Carlotta Adams. So I'm just gonna read some more and see what's gonna. So that was a fucking failure because she just died. The main suspect just fucking offed. There you go. Dead. The secretary is being suspected because she was vehemently adamant, saying that she saw Jane coming in. She saw her coming in. She didn't say I heard her. She didn't say I suspect it was her. She said I saw Jane Wilkins going on, or I saw Lady Edgeworth going in. And he questioned the secretary, and he was like, you saw her from that position and you're sure? And she goes like, yes, she's her, and I saw her from that position and I'm 100% sure. And then he was just like, well, that's fucking odd, because you just did not see my face going. And she was just like, no, I meant I heard her and her walk, and it's like, it's her. But maybe, that's what I thought, maybe this little bitch, Carlotta, the one that just like ruined every plan that I had right now for this case, Carlotta, maybe she, I thought, was impersonating her and going in. And then I was just like, why? But then I thought maybe it was a bet, maybe because her, like, it was, she wanted to prove that she can be actually Jane, like she can impersonate her to a T, where even the closest people to Jane cannot differentiate between them, and she can do the walk and the talk and the dressing and stuff. Also, I thought maybe because Lord Edgeworth was married before, right? Hear me out. Lord Edgeworth was married before, and his ex-wife ended up dead. She left, and she left a 3-year-old, and then she ended up offing herself, I think. I forgot. And maybe some of them were friends of his ex-wife, and they held like it was vengeance because of what happened to his ex-wife. And I'm still holding on to that theory. I would like to talk more to Jane. Jane is weird, dude. She is on drugs, 100%. She is on Valium. I am 100% sure she's. What if the ex-wife didn't work because there was someone else, and they were in love with her, and then it was vengeance because she wasn't treated well. I don't know. Questions. So, did I sleep? No. However, I've made a lot of progress, and I have stop. I have 3 theories, and I am not 100%, but like 95 point a lot of 999s%. One of them is correct. Why did Lord Edgeworth change his mind about the divorce? Or did he even change his mind about the divorce? Because if you remember, I said when we met Jane, which I still don't trust, by the way, we'll get into that in a little bit. When we met Jane, she told us that he doesn't want to get divorced. But then when we met Lord Edge, he said that he doesn't mind getting a divorce, and that he knows that his marriage was a mistake in the first place, right? So why did he change his mind, or did he even change his mind? And my theory about that is that he didn't mind in the first place, and she made it sound like he minded, but he actually didn't, because I didn't get the vibe from Lord Irish that he did mind in the first place, to be honest. Who called Jane? And if someone actually called Jane. So Jane said that someone called her and asked if she's Jane or Lady Edgeworth, and then left and hanged up, right? And that was confirmed by her maid, her secretary, whatever her name is, which I don't trust, by the way. It makes me think that maybe someone wanted to, frame her and make it seem like she was in on something, or be sure that she's actually in that place for the time of the murder. Or because I still suspect Jane, which is another theory, maybe like she was in on the fucking call in the first place. Anyways, let's just go through with the question. And who benefits from Edge's death? So the suspects are the ones that benefit from his death. And we have Jane. She gets her divorce that she very, very much wants. And we have the nephew, who is poor as shit, but I don't suspect the nephew. I just don't suspect the fucking nephew. I do not suspect Marsh or whatever his name is. He's a good-hearted fellow. He's cold. He doesn't like his uncle. He doesn't like anyone, but he's a good-hearted fellow. And he explained his alibi, which is something that I actually believe. I mean, it's an Agatha Christie book, so everything can change any second. But it's something that I actually do believe. The butler, which I still don't trust. However, if you remember, there was $100 missing from Lord Edge's library. There was $100 there, and then they didn't find it. And I think the butler took it, which is why he fled. I think he panicked when the murder happened, and I think he fled because he was scared that it would be pinned on him, or they would like suspect him or anything like that, or maybe he would steal from the house or whatever the fuck, and they would suspect him, and he panicked. I don't trust the butler, but he doesn't like seem like the one to do it. However, though, we haven't heard from the butler in a little bit, so maybe we're not hearing from him, and then by the end of the book he's the mastermind behind all of this, but he's not in my books. Jane and Brian benefit from him because Brian is clearly in love with Jane, and Jane benefits from, again, the fucking divorce. Also, it could be someone who hated Jane, which goes back to my theory that it was Carlotta, but we can't say that. But maybe it was someone who really hated Jane and made it seem like she's being framed. But I took that off because Jane is living her best life. She's literally living her ultimate best life right now, and I don't like that. This Jane Wilkinson, she's sus to me. The way she's handling stuff, she's sus to me. Oh, by the way, Brian was seen in the scene of the crime the night of the fucking crime, and I don't like that as well. And there's a key missing, which probably Brian stole, which probably Jane stole and gave to Brian. I think even the dude that Jane was planning to marry, even that dude, the Duke that she was planning to, we met the Duke. He's weird as shit. He's weird, and I think he loves her and he's hopeful, but she doesn't give a shit about him. And I think she's marrying him, or she wants to marry him because of his status, and I think she wants to benefit. My final theory, I have like 50 pages left, and the killer or whatever happened will be announced any second. Last 3 chapters that we have left, and I want to say my theory and then read it and see how close I can get. My theory is that this bitch is 100% is like almost, she wasn't alone. I think these two did something together, and I think she was the mastermind and he went along with it because he has feelings for her. So Carlotta was found overdosing with an OD. That's how she died. And when Poirot found her, and Poirot is fucking mastermind detective, and he would know if she did drugs or no. That's his fucking job, right? And he didn't suspect that she did drugs, and throughout the book he still isn't suspecting that she did drugs, and I don't suspect that she did drugs. So I think the killer actually intercepted her letter, intercepted the letter, and then gave her the fucking gift with the drugs, and he slipped the drugs a fatal amount so she would OD. And oh, the bet, he's the one that made the bet, by the way. I was right about that theory, which I'm happy about. I was right about the bet. Someone actually called her and met her and made her a bet that she would do the trick where she dresses as Jane and go in and trick them. I was right about that, which makes me super happy. My final theory is that it has something to do with this bitch right here, Jane. If I got like 1% close, and it has something to do with Jane and Brian, I'm a fucking genius.
A few moments later.
I just finished, and I'm honestly going to count this as a victory. I don't care. First of all, sorry if you can hear any construction sound thingies. This fucking dude has been doing construction since 8 a.m. or something, and it's like 5 p.m. and they haven't stopped yet. What the fuck are you fucking working on, dude? I almost did it, and I'm actually proud of myself. Okay, it's mostly guesswork and just like the vibe I've been getting from the characters and guesswork rather than actual deduction. It was, honestly, I was already proud the moment I deduced the first thing about the bet thingy, and then she ended up actually doing a bet. That's why she dressed as, I was honestly proud of that, and that didn't go like 100% as I thought it would, but still I was proud of that. So I'm super proud that I actually, one of my theories was, it was like funner than I thought it was gonna be. I'm actually interested in doing more. I don't know if this came off as fun for you, whomever you are watching, or not, but it was actually really fun to me, and I'm proud of my wall. I have a wall now filled with different names and guesses and theories that one of them actually turned out to be almost correct, and I'm actually proud of the wall that I had to move because you know, it was bothering me. And about the book, not just this stupid thing that I did, about the book, I liked it. I gave it 4 stars. I haven't rated it on Goodreads yet. I'm terrible on Goodreads, but I'm going to give it 4 stars. And the only reason I took away a star was because it felt like it could be like a bit shorter. I mean, like the last few pages just felt drawn on, and I get you do that for like suspicion, but it's like, okay, I'm already like suspenseful. Oh, just give it to me, dude. I hope you enjoyed this as well. I know I'm not like the most entertaining person ever out there, but it makes me happy to do this and to talk about books and stuff. And it would like make me happy for you to feel the same. Thank you so much for watching, for being here, for liking, commenting, subscribing, and interacting with me in any way, shape, or form. And I'll see you next video. Bye.